And live from Koreatown, no intro song. We're straight to it because we're excited. We have a special guest today. Since it's Throwback Thursday, we're bringing out our very first guest on the OZone, our inaugural guest, a brother who supported us before we blew up, before we got on three-time champion network uninterrupted. The man, the myth, the legend, Robbie Jones.
Hey, everybody. Oh, okay.
High fives all around. Move it towards you. There you go.
I'll get it.
Robbie, also a sports aficionado, an individual who is opinionated off camera, even though he likes to keep it low. He keeps it. That's why we call him Private Jones, because he keeps it low. Parade. So Robbie's here. We're going to say Private Jones in the sense that we're going to pull it out of him. We're going to get the information out.
Squeeze it out of him.
I'm here with my brother as well, the Icons with the Z.
Yeah.
We got a lot to cover today, so we're going to get right to it. We want to cover Major League Baseball, some highs and some lows. I went out to Dodger Stadium the other day and ran into Scott Boras. I may have some inside information for you about the trade deadline. Or I may not.
Okay.
Tease.
I said,
You're a tease.
Coconut Teaser. I used to love that club. The Coconut Teaser was my favorite. It was late night. You remember the Coconut?
He's a tease.
Coconut.
You remember that Coconut Teaser? Oh, you don't know the Coconut Teaser?
That sounds hilarious.
The Coconut Teaser was, you know where, on Crescent Heights and Sunset now?
Yeah.
What is that? Louis, what's the name of the club that's there now? Right there. It's like a day club and
It's
all
like
kinds of stuff.
the Hudson or something.
Something like that,
Yeah.
right? That used to be a hella ghetto spot called the Coconut Teaser.
That sounds good.
When I first got back from college, when I first got back from the Bay, Coconut Teaser was popping, and it was the after-hours spot.
Oh, no.
The Coconut Teaser was good till 6 in the morning.
What?
Cracking. Reggae music.
What?
Raga music. Lights, all kind of weed smoking there before it was legal. It was what? Coconut Teaser was popping.
Don't pan the Coconut Teaser.
That's what was happening at the teaser.
You guys need to get in the studio.
Trying to tell you, it was hot. That was a hot 8 right there.
More fire.
Speed hot fire. So we might have that information. We always want to speak about baseball. We have some very interesting information about Cheeto and his influence over the NFL, which we all suspected, but now we can confirm. But first and foremost, we're here to talk about Robbie's expertise because he was a professional basketball player, ladies and gentlemen, before he turned movie star, television star, and Big Papa. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Man, that's all right. If you don't know Robbie Jones, you need to go and check him online. Check his handle out. He's got a wonderful Instagram page. Where can the people find you, Rob?
Robbie Jones online on Instagram and the Robbie Jones on Twitter, I believe.
There it is.
Hey,
So, I mean, if y'all looking for a MCM out there, Robbie's there for you.
Gosh.
Only in the virtual world.
Gosh.
He's a taken man. He's doing the right thing. He's a
yes.
man of God.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah.
And
very happily married.
There it is. There it is. And so let's talk about the NBA.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's rewind selecta.
Yeah, put it back.
And then let's talk about what you and I talk about on the telephone.
For sure.
We were speaking a lot during the Warriors and Rockets series. Oof. Now, Robbie's from the Bay Area, folks.
Yes.
All day, all night. It's a little 40 water riding in his veins. And so, I really loved your perspective on what has happened to this Warriors team in comparison to last Warriors teams. But let's just really quickly with the finals starting tonight. By the time this is on air, the finals, people will be watching this with the finals.
Sure.
Let's just talk about real quick how we got here on the West. The Houston Rockets, who you and I went back and forth about in private. I told you I never believe in a D'Antoni squad.
You believed in him.
No. We didn't go by. I know we didn't differ. We just went back and forth, trading notes about it.
Please don't put me there.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, what?
No. I got evidence on the phone. He knew that they weren't serious.
No.
But let's speak about what they exposed about the Warriors.
Well, it's kind of crazy when you see what the Rockets did. First of all, they shot the lights out.
For the most part.
Yeah. Until the last game. I mean, they shot the lights out, and P.J. Tucker literally won them some games with them offensive rebounds.
Agreed.
Hustle.
Flat out.
Yeah, just straight hustle.
And it really exposed the one-on-one defense of the Warriors being
and the lack thereof.
Shabby.
Yeah, very shabby.
Shabby. And I respect what Steve Kerr is trying to instill in his players, right? He doesn't want them to hand check at all because James Harden and Chris Paul are the master of the hook under
and get the
call.
Yeah.
Which is garbage. You know what I mean?
It's just a bad rule.
It's a very bad rule.
It's Ja rule.
And oh my God. What would I be without you?
We'd be a good NBA if that rule wasn't
Where
in
would
place.
we be without?
Yeah.
Because
shout out to Ja.
Yeah, shout out to Ja. Much love. But what happens is they kind of did away with that rule where you come off the screen and you jump into the man and shoot the three. I liked how they kind of they went away from that.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
But the next thing they need to get rid of is that hook under and then throw the head back. Harden is the master at that. If you get close to him, he jumps and throws his head back, and the referee just goes brrr, just because they see his mohawk go back.
That's what it is.
He has a big head with the chin.
Yeah.
So
it presents well.
It presents well. So basically, they got exposed because they're able to get away with a lot of stuff that is acceptable in the rules now. And Steph doesn't do that. I mean, Clay doesn't do that.
No.
I mean, KD doesn't do that. Everybody, they try to get to the contact. They play with contact.
Right.
And because they're not hand checking them, James Harden can get around anybody.
There's not one person on the planet I can think of, although I was with Robbie Jones when a young fella named Casper Ware gave him all that he wanted.
Business.
And I heard about that.
All that he wanted at the L.A. Drew League in Watts.
Locked him down, right?
Buffet style.
That's all he could eat.
All he could eat.
Come on, man. Listen, y'all look up Casper Ware if you want to know about some great Long Beach State product basketball.
Shout out Casper Ware.
Wherever Casper is. Casper is somewhere watching the game like,
right. This dude.
Casper somewhere. Wait.
Move your feet. That's what he thinks. Move your feet.
Because I'm here to tell you, Casper's no more than 6 feet tall.
No.
If that.
Nope.
And was in James.
Now,
at the
he
LA Drew League.
did he figure out early that he can't go right?
He didn't care because he was in his chest. His footwork was, he was just, it was a situation where his height disadvantage, he turned it into his height advantage.
And it was any.
Because he was, he was underneath the handle.
That's what it was. James couldn't even put the ball on the ground.
And the crazy part was, James still got his. But he got it in such the hardest way.
He had to work hard for that. Honestly, that made James a better player.
It did.
Because if you watch James' game the next, if you watch anybody who doesn't know, there is the West Coast equivalent, now I would say superior to what the East Coast started with the Rucker basketball, is the West Coast Drew League. It's a summer basketball league where the NBA players play, entertainers play, rappers play, everybody has a team, and you get out there and you get to see some great work. It's sponsored by Nike, and my brother Robbie here took me up there to watch. And wow, man, oh man, was that a great day of basketball.
You're exposed. If you think you're the man and you go out to the Drew and you half stepping, they will expose you. They will expose
Sure will. And the whole gym will let you know.
Yeah. So shout out to Casper Ware. He did his thing. But back to your point.
Gave him 43 that night.
It was disgusting.
He gave James 43.
It was disgusting.
I mean, we were watching me, Robbie. It was like it was
real.
The main thing was like, man, why doesn't Casper Ware have a look somewhere?
And he did for a minute.
Yeah, he did for a minute.
Mm-hmm. But check it out. Like back to your point, they just got exposed on one-on-one defense, and you can't guard James and you can't guard Chris if you're not being physical with them at all. And Steph Curry can't guard him with his hands out.
Right.
James, KD can't guard him with his hands. They just go into you or they go around you.
Right. And they can finish at the rim. One thing that I want to give Harden kudos on
finishing
is that, honestly, James may be one of the better finishers I've ever seen in the sense that he's not interested in the flashy finish. And that saves him a lot of problems because he doesn't have to drop it on you. He can drop it on you, don't sleep. But he doesn't have to dip on you. James is fine with a finger roll or a layup or high off the glass. He's A-okay with that. But one thing that got exposed about James was if you force him right, he doesn't even look to finish.
Well, I guess I'll pass.
He looks to dish off. I thought that was really interesting in game 6 and 7, primarily 7.
Well, here's the crazy part. Okay, so what happened, which was crazy, is this was the first time I ever saw a team go 5 guards.
Let's speak on that.
Purpose.
Let's speak on that.
I'm talking
because we talked about that. Yeah.
They went 5 guards.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Wow. And we're effective.
And that was the lineup that did the most damage.
And to me, that's the problem with the coaching.
They literally put them in all 4 corners. They ran some old school 4 corners.
They ran a 4 corners.
And literally ran a dribble exchange until whoever ISO'd on Steph had the ball, whether it was Chris or James. They made sure James had the ball on Chris, or Chris had the ball on Steph. I'm sorry, I'm saying Steph. And they drove him.
Yeah.
And when they collapsed, they dished to a dude who was knocking it down.
Who was wet.
So they put 4 guards around who could shoot. And he just
Capella down there in the middle acting a donkey.
And they had
Capella is not even dominant like that. That's
Right.
what blew me away.
Well, but this is to me
They're
this is
very
what
soft in the middle.
is what exposes Golden State.
Yep.
Very much so.
Especially since for some reason Steve Kerr doesn't want to play David West or JaVale McGee. I don't know what them two dudes did in private. I mean, thank God he doesn't want to play Zaza.
He might hurt you.
He's like, I already got a bad knee. Jeez Louise, Zaza, let me breathe. Zaza ruining people's careers out there. He's a low-key enforcer. But see, and this is the thing. So what ends up happening is if a team goes 5 guards on you and you have size, there's no logic into 4 or 5 guards. There's no logic as into why you shouldn't be able to dominate. The thing that disparages me about the NBA in its current state is it is almost as if, and I got major traction online from something I tweeted, was that in that game 7, in the third and fourth quarters, it was as if the Houston Rockets were allergic to 2-pointers.
But this is what their coach preaches. He wants to shoot up to 100. So they lived by the 3 and they literally died by the 3. He doesn't want 2-pointers. I've literally watched him say, "Hey, listen, we need to get at least. I want to work up to we can get 100 threes in a game." Like, wow, really? This is ridiculous.
But we're talking about
That's
now.
why, though. That's why. That's why they played those 5 guards, because if you put JaVale out there or you put David West out there, they're not going to shoot a 3. And if they trade 3s for 2s, they're going to win the game. That's their logic.
Percentage-wise.
This is what I'm saying.
If their percentage is a certain amount.
Exactly.
Right.
And they shot the lights out.
For 5 of the 7 games.
And they led the West in wins.
Yes. So they believed it was going to work.
We did it. We've been doing it. It's been working. And these guys can't guard. They can't. If we break them down off the dribble, somebody's got to help.
Right.
As soon as somebody helps, somebody's going to be open who can shoot.
Right.
And that was winning them games. I've never seen that before.
But you know what it didn't do?
Exactly.
It didn't win. It didn't. It did. We have not seen that win games 7.
Exactly.
Which is game.
It does not win championships.
Hold on. Which is game 90. See, this is another factor.
You got them rubbery legs.
I talked about it.
Where you going, dude? Your legs.
Yeah, I was standing up. I should have laid down. And so, but this is the thing, and this is what I was talking about on the OZone a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Even LeBron James, you can't have more love for LeBron James than I got for him. Right. I don't try to front. Even LeBron James, I'm here to tell you, eventually your legs can only take so much in one sustained period.
Yeah.
Now we're going on the 4th time we're going to see this Cavs Golden State matchup. Both teams have the DNA of their original teams, but primarily they're completely different teams. You know, this is the weakest version of the Warriors team that I've seen, in my opinion, without Iguodala.
I agree.
And
with Iggy, they're better.
I think a lot. In my opinion, with Iggy, despite whatever metrics and statistical numbers that they come up with, Iggy puts them in a position where they are drastically, exponentially better because he does intangibles that really help the team.
And and LeBron lit him up, but he gives LeBron a problem.
He gives LeBron a problem. And see, the whole thing is
make him work extra. That's what it's all about.
This is what it's all about.
It's about.
Yeah.
Now,
Just like Casper Ware.
Yeah, he made him work. That was it.
He got his, but he wore him out a little bit.
Exactly. And he kept that game tight. Now, in that same situation, in that same vein, when the Cavs and LeBron James were able to beat the Warriors, the 1 out of the 3 times that they beat them, it was the one time that the Warriors actually went 7 games on their road to the finals.
Yep.
The one time. And that was when Kevin Durant choked when he was on OKC and was up 3-1. And they ended up losing that series 4-3.
Right.
They ended up winning the series. Kevin Durant, who was on the Thunder at the time, ended up losing that series, which didn't have an immediate effect when they got to the finals, but it did have a prolonged effect. 7 games is real, and the NBA, since they refuse to make the first round 5 games like they should and do what's right for the community, these extra games matter.
Big time.
And unfortunately, LeBron also went 7 and played 48 minutes. So, even though guys on his team haven't, so his guys should be fresher than those guys.
Yeah, but LeBron takes care of his body like nobody else.
He's a machine.
So,
I agree. I agree.
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah, he goes the extra mile to take care of his body, not like the rest of the league. And I watched Al Horford speak after the game, and he literally changed his life as far as his conditioning and eating and everything else, meaning LeBron James. He was like, man, I just recognized that I need to, change my diet, and I need to work out a little bit extra, and I need to, all the things that goes to take you to that next level.
For sure.
For sure, but you're still human. And so in that, LeBron James is playing game 95 or whatever it is that he's playing. Went 7 in the first round. So what is that? He's 82,
it's 100.
So what are you trying to say?
This is game 100.
I think this is game 100.
This is game 100.
I think I heard it on ESPN. This is game 100 for him for the season.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that this extra fatigue actually will give him a chance to get the job done, because at the end of in the second half of Game 7 and in the first half of Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, Kevin Durant looked like a strong wind could blow him over.
He sure did.
He looked tired.
I mean, he looks really tired. He's looked tired in the past, and I maintain that he's a great scorer, but I think that the main thing that got exposed was a mental fragility for Golden State. I don't think Golden State necessarily believes the full 48 minutes. And I think that what ends up happening is that they give you the opportunity to beat you.
By being careless with the ball.
They're loose with the ball. You've never seen
loose.
a good team, a great team, that's loose with the ball as this. But most teams aren't smart enough to capitalize because they fall into the trap of the three-point hoax. And you're never going to out Golden State. I don't care if they go through a lull or whatever. You can't beat them that way.
You can't beat them that way.
And that's a problem because these teams don't seem to recognize that. So tonight, game 1, what I'm looking for is, 1, to see if LeBron James gets any help from Tyronn Lue, because I want to see what the substitution patterns are like. 2, to see if his teammates are actually awake or if they're brain dead, because it's not going to get it done. Hanging out with J.R. Smith getting hot in the fourth quarter after y'all down 30, that ain't gonna get it done.
Well, let me shoot this to Robbie.
Not against the Warriors.
Robbie,
nope.
What's your starting lineup for the Cavs? What would you go with?
It depends on who's healthy. Because
they got everybody.
Everybody's back.
Kevin Love's back.
Everybody's back. They got everybody.
Yeah. So who's your starting 5?
No, and knowing that Iggy's not on.
Yeah. Who's your starting 5?
I go with the starting 5 with Kevin Love in the lineup. You know what I mean?
So you would go Korver? Would you go Korver, or would you go J.R. Smith to start?
I think I will go J.R. Smith to start.
Really? Really? Interesting.
Because I like Korver coming off the bench because he's hot immediately.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I know exactly what you mean.
He's hot immediately, and if they ever go through any lulls,
exactly.
If they ever go through any lulls, when
you
he
can
comes
bring him
off the bench,
yeah.
he's
instant offense.
Off the screen,
he's scary.
Yeah. He's wet.
Legitimately, when I watch Kyle Korver come off the bench and he catches,
he's ready.
It's like
he's already
that
warm.
Shot is
it's up, it's out.
0.6 of a second,
and
he got it going.
Money.
He might miss 1 or 2 of them, but it's go time.
It's going to be wet.
Yeah, it's going to be wet.
He's scary
for sure.
Okay, so who else
that's
you got?
That's
you got JR, you got LeBron, you got Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Oh, so you would start LeBron?
Yeah. Start LeBron?
You're like, what? Don't hit him, man. Come on.
And I would start Tristan.
Yeah, see.
TT, you go TT?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? So what we got?
I would take the most experienced squad, like they've been winning with, and I would start those guys. The guys who've been to the championship.
Now, do you think that Green starts or Green doesn't start?
No, Kevin Love starts.
So
but Kevin Love is playing center. Jeff Green wasn't playing center though. He was playing like power forward, right?
Exactly. So he was playing for Kevin Love.
I feel like the team. One of the things that this team is missing, is the Channing Frye type. Is the individual who could bang and was fundamentally sound to rebound, but also could shoot when left open, but was fundamentally sound for a post move, a tip in, something to that effect.
Stretch 5.
Stretch 5.
Now, who's your starting 5?
For LeBron?
Yeah.
Or you just talking about at the park? I'm going to go with Tim. I'm going to go with Robbie. I'm going to go with Kev.
Right. And Casper Ware.
Guaranteed. I'm going to come off the bench so Casper can start. Whatever happens. You know what? I'm going to go with I don't know if I start Kevin Love. I would probably start. I'm going to go with King James. The person that I'm suspect about more than anybody is George Hill, to be honest. I don't know what George is going to give me.
He's been inconsistent.
He's been inconsistent his whole career.
Has he?
Yeah.
I'm not up on George.
Yeah,
he's all right. You just know what you get with George.
I know he was in sack, and I know he's solid. But
he's solid, but he was indifferent too, right?
He was in San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio.
Remember?
He's solid. What I'm saying is he's
in
solid.
Indiana.
He's solid.
He's solid, but I
don't
can't.
want
know
him
if
on my team. I wouldn't mind having him on my team. I
think
want him
he's
on
a
my team.
backup.
That's what I think. But I think he's a backup. I don't think he's a starter. They got him as a starter.
Okay, so go.
But he has to start. Who else is going to start?
Well,
Calderon?
I'm going to start.
I'm starting King James. I'm starting Corver. I'm actually starting Jeff Green. I'm starting Tristan Thompson for sure.
For sure.
And I'm starting Larry Nance. I'm starting Larry Nance because I need to. I'm starting even if Larry Nance just comes in for the first 3. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm starting Larry Nance. The lights are too bright for most of these guys, is what I've seen. Mm-hmm. And I need them to be on the court with LeBron, because if LeBron James isn't great at anything else, which we know he's great at a ton of stuff, if he's not great at anything else, he's great at getting guys involved early, almost to his own detriment at times. I need Larry Nance, who is familiar with the Golden State Warriors, because Larry Nance was on those Laker teams that actually gave Golden State problems, if you remember the weak Laker teams who actually beat them, and he was a factor in that.
I'm still seeing where you're going.
And so with that, my whole goal, I'm relentless to the rack. If I'm Tyronn Lue and I'm putting together the team, if you want to get out of the game, take a 3 and your name isn't LeBron or Kyle Korver. Everybody else, I need you to be in the box.
But that's what they
I want to crash boards.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to do, I'm setting every off-ball screen so that we can get a favorable matchup in the box, either with LeBron or with anybody. I don't want to see long jumpers. This is what I don't, not early. I don't want to see it. I'm treating this as the equivalent of going to the body in a boxing match. I want to punish Golden State. I don't even care if we get down at first. I want to punish them, because you know what? All them skinny dudes jumpers ain't going to drop if I'm bullying you the whole game in the early part of the game.
That's true.
Here's my rebuttal.
Okay, let me put my starting 5 down.
Okay, put your starting 5 out there.
I'm going Jordan Clarkson.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm going Jordan Clarkson, not George Hill. And then I have Larry Nance in there, and I'm going
to start.
Larry Nance to start, and I'm going Jeff Green. I'm going Kevin Love, because
gotta have Kevin Love in there.
Because they don't have size.
They don't have, or they won't use them.
Yeah,
at least they have them, but they won't put them in.
Are you starting Tristan?
You know what? I'd like Tristan off the bench, honestly, because he brings that energy. And even
you listed off 4 guys, so who's
no?
Well,
we
listed off 5.
I listed off 5.
Did you?
We have Clarkson. We have Larry Nance. We have LeBron. I just didn't say LeBron. We have Kevin.
So you're going to start LeBron too, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure? I mean, no, I'm going to bring him off the bench. But they
Clarkson. I go with Clarkson over George Hill.
Yeah, because
100%.
Clarkson can create his own shot.
Is also on that Laker team that gave Golden State problems. By the way,
Clarkson is not afraid. And this is big, not being afraid. And the moment's not too huge for these guys. And I feel like
I think the moment is too huge for the majority of them. And I think
I'm
that's
talking
what we're
about my
see.
starting 5. I don't feel like they are, because Larry Nance is a guy who's.
I think the moment is too big for Larry Nance, and
I
that's
don't
why
think so.
I want to get him in there with some help. To be honest,
I don't think so. I just think that being young like that, he's got too much energy. He needs to learn how to channel his energy so that he can groom that into.
Exactly, but that means that the moment's too big for him, because he
usually
doesn't know how.
Too big
He doesn't know how.
Headlights. Like, oh my God, I can't believe
that's
it.
not true.
That's what I think.
We saw the moment be too big for the Houston Rockets just the other night, and it wasn't deer in the headlights. It was jumper after jumper after jumper after. Wasn't like they had bad form. That wasn't even like they were taking bad shots. That's the moment being.
They've never been there.
That is exactly.
No.
That's a manifestation of the moment being too big.
I don't believe that, because that's their theory on playing the game. And they executed their theory, and they shot themselves.
Because they executed their theory in the 3 games they won. In that game when all of the marbles were on the table,
they shot their threes.
But they shot them timidly because the lights were too bright. That's a manifestation of that. But what were you going to say as a rebuttal?
Okay.
We had to get that little spurt in there.
Larry Nance
Jr.
As much as I respect what he does, he finishes around the basket. Mm-hmm. He hustles. He's not ready yet.
You don't think? I don't think he's ready yet.
He's been there for Draymond.
Because here's the deal, right? If you paid attention in Game 7, he couldn't stay on the floor because he was fouling everybody.
I know.
All of that is the moment being too big.
That's a moment.
That's manifestation of the moment being too big. Yes.
That's a nerve thing.
Yes.
I can't play good defense because I'm over aggressive.
Yeah.
I gotta break everything. I gotta swat everything. I gotta jump in front of everything.
I'm jumping at every ball fake.
It's dumb fouls, right? Golden State, as much as you like to think they don't have an inside presence, they just didn't play JaVale and them guys because of the way Houston spread them out. they're not going to let you just punish them in the paint now.
I want to see it.
If Houston had switched up their lineup and had went big,
had went Nene and Capella,
cut it out.
Why didn't Nene play?
We would because that was their theory. We spread
that
them.
Bad Antonio work.
That bad
exactly
theory.
And it worked 3 games.
Right.
It didn't work on the floor.
Right.
And we've always said that it can't win you a championship.
It can't win you.
It'll win you some games. Not going to win you some championships. So if they go big, if the Cavs go big, they're going to be a rude surprise, a rude awakening.
I don't think so. I think that the Cavs know, and I also think that the Cavs big men are better than the Warriors big men because the Warriors are a jump shooting team. And if you lay and punish them a little bit, the jump shots don't fall.
Don't sleep on JaVale. That's all I would say.
JaVale's nice.
Don't sleep on JaVale.
But how many minutes do you think that JaVale doesn't even average 12 minutes a game during the regular season?
But did you see what he did in the finals last year?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to get
Did you see what he did in the playoffs last year?
But that was last year.
Big minutes.
This year, he hasn't gotten any burn.
A big 12.
But who have they played, though? They never played nobody who went 5 guards deep.
It's weird.
Well, but that's my point. The point of the matter is that Steve Kerr, I mean, my boy D, shout out 5'4", my boy D put something up on the gram that on Twitter that I agreed with, and he said, you know what, I don't really give Golden State much credit for winning this game as much as I give Houston the credit for losing this game. Houston effectively snatched defeat from the jaws of victory the other night. They did that. They were committed to doing it.
They did it twice.
They did it game 6 and 7.
They did it twice.
And
lack of experience, a lack of leadership.
And I don't even think it's a lack of experience. Even though there is a lack of experience, James Harden has been around. James Harden did that same nonsense in the finals. James, you know that nobody can stop you to the rack.
Yep.
But you want to dribble, Euro step, crip walk behind the 3 and shoot the jumper. Even when it's not wet. Get to the free throw line. This is actually what you're best at in the entire league is getting to the free throw line. Yeah. So, there's that. I really hope that the Cavs make a series out of this. I think the idea that the Vegas odds opened at minus 1,000 for Golden State is absurd. I think
is that what it is?
It's 10-1. Every 1,000, you have to bet $1,000 to win $100 if you're betting on Golden State to win the series.
Are you kidding me? LeBron is that big of an underdog?
And now LeBron, this makes LeBron an underdog in 7 of the 9 finals he's gone to. 7 of the 9 opening odds from Vegas say LeBron James is going to lose. That's bold.
He's only won 2.
He's won 3.
I'm saying he's only won, but he won 2. He won 3 of those.
He won 3 of 8.
Cavaliers.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't the underdog in those 2 that he won.
With the Heat you're talking about?
Yeah, he wasn't the underdog there.
Those are the 2 that he wasn't the underdog.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. He shouldn't have beat the Spurs that first year that he went with the Cavs way back in 06 or 07, whatever that was.
Your boy Pop made a bad call.
Yeah, Pop didn't make a bad call.
Then he took Tim Duncan out of the game or something. Right?
No. In 2006, when LeBron James, this is how long LeBron James has been balling. LeBron James took a no-name team with Drew Gooden and Drew Gooden.
I haven't heard that's a blast from past.
And me.
Wow,
and I was on the team too. He took us to the finals. I was getting served by Pop. It was a slow time in my movie career. And so that was back in the Mike Brown days, I do believe. I can't remember who the coach was at the time.
I think it was Mike Brown.
Yeah. And that's when LeBron beat that Detroit Pistons team that
beat him up.
Beat him up in a team that had incredible defense. Yeah. He destroyed them. He was a one-man army.
Yes.
And
Popovich saw the footage and was like, oh, you think that's going to work? Check this out. And locked him up.
Right.
But he should have. That was LeBron was young.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have won that one. He should have won all 3 of the ones with the Heat.
For sure.
Even though he lost 1 to the Mavericks. He's 4. He lost 1 to the Mavericks. He lost 1 to the Spurs, and he beat the Spurs twice, or he beat somebody else.
Yeah, he lost 1 to Dallas, right? Lost 1 to Dallas, 1 to
1 to the Spurs.
And did he lose 1 to the Spurs? And dang it, who's that last team?
I don't know, but you just said exactly what I just said.
Yeah,
you like that? That was dope. Except he said the Mavericks, and I said Dallas.
Exactly, which made you not think that I was talking about Dallas.
That was dope.
I tricked him. And Robbie was like, "No, what? The Mavericks?
No, he said he knew.
The Mavericks of Dallas?
Exactly. The Los Angeles Anaheim Angels of LA. So, anywho, he's going in as a major underdog. A guy that great. It just goes to show this is a team game. I don't put that underdog status on LeBron James.
No.
That underdog status is on the team. That's what it is. On not just his team, on the team.
Yeah.
And from what you've seen from the team, watching the season and the series and the playoffs, I would actually have them as underdogs as well.
Absolutely.
Because they've shown no consistency. The only consistent person has been number 23.
They should have lost to Boston.
Woo! Hot take.
They should have lost to Boston.
You think?
Absolutely.
What happened?
The same thing we've been talking about. That moment was too big for them young boys.
It was. The lights were too bright for them.
You always have to learn how to win.
They shot themselves in the face, not the foot. Like, they went out there and handed them that game. They handed them 2 games.
I don't agree.
They didn't hand them 2 games.
I don't agree.
They didn't hand them the second. The game 6, they didn't handle them. They didn't hand them.
Game 7, they handed it to them.
Yeah, honestly, for
LeBron did not take that game from them.
Game 7, he scored the first 12 points. I'm saying that LeBron
They were
James
down.
in game, but he scored the Cavaliers' first 12 points. LeBron James in Game 7 against a Boston Celtics team that has never been there. I'm taking LeBron James because those dudes don't know how to win. You need somebody to show them how.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
They don't know how to win. And I sat there and watched.
took it from them.
Man, you can say that because that's what happened. But it was like they were handing it to him, and he just took it out their hand.
They just really didn't know how to close it.
They
didn't need to go to a Game 7. If you can get it done in Game 6, then you're good. But if you go to Game 7, you're going to have a problem. And I'm taking Cavaliers to win it.
Okay, I like that.
And how many?
I respect that.
I'm going to 7.
I respect that.
Man, you need a lot of summer breaks.
Yeah,
everybody gonna need a long summer break.
It's gonna be rough. I'm gonna say this one last thing. What I really hated about that series is that them young boys took a moral victory out of that. If you watch their interviews afterwards, Jason Tatum and them was just happy to have got a chance to play
and they
against
said that, and he even said that.
I'm a young dude. That was my first year in the league. You
man,
know what I'm
to get a couple shots away from beating my idol.
Yeah,
I never even heard him say getting to the championship. I just heard them talking about LeBron.
I had to get him back there one time for dunking on me. I had to get him. I'm just like.
They were hurt.
That's the wrong.
But they were hurt though. But
that was on the wrong thing.
But that was everybody's approach back in the 80s and 90s with Michael Jordan. It's the Jordan effect. We can't win because of the Jordan effect, the Jordan rules or whatever.
They had the Cavs beat, bro.
No, I don't know what that has nothing to do with the 80s and 90s.
They had the Cavs beat.
That has to do with I thought you were going to say something else. That has to do with this generation,
these young boys,
and what they value exactly. I don't think you never saw Kobe Bryant happy to just play against Michael Jordan.
Did
not
you
even
see
in the All-Star game.
Happy?
What?
To lose to Jordan? He was crossing him up.
I was going to say, he was happy to put him in the blender real quick.
And when he lost, he was mad.
He was mad. I'm supposed to beat this old man.
I'm supposed to beat him. I'm going to give him the business. I'm going to give him the business.
Is this what you're not listening to what he said? This is what he just said.
I disagree. That's what I'm saying.
No, Jason Tatum just said, I was just happy to play against him.
I did not hear that. I watched the thing and I did not hear that part.
That's what he said.
He sat there on the interview.
And
looked at the press conference.
Yeah, I watched the press conference. I didn't even say that. I know he said he wanted to pay him back. He had to pay him back for the 2 he hit on him, but I didn't hear him say that he was grateful to be there.
He said just for it to be a couple shots away from beating LeBron James, from beating my idol.
So what should he have said?
What should he have said?
He wasn't even mad.
He was very disappointed.
I didn't. Wow, we watched a different press conference.
What?
You're trafficking in fake news, my friends.
He was very disappointed.
The boy was happy to have played against
He had his head down and everything. Y'all didn't want him to cry?
Oh. Did he have his head down? Man. Or did he look like he was styling?
He was profiling.
Oh, man.
Living it up in the city. Got tucks on and Hank the Brown. He had to kiss himself. He's so pretty. Hey. He wanted to call the police and the fireman. He wasn't worried about that. He was about to go on
He about to go on a cruise.
I was just about to say he's about to go.
Bottles.
He's about to go to Miami.
We almost beat him.
You saw me dip on LeBron.
I banged on him. Like
he talked about how it was a learning experience and everything, and that's the way that he should have approached it because it was a learning experience.
It was a learning experience.
Kyrie Irving had not played against LeBron James. And neither had Gordon Hayward. So what I want to know is what Boston's going to do next year because they have so much talent coming back. But Gordon Hayward didn't just get that experience that those young guys got. And I can't let those young guys not play because Gordon Hayward hadn't played.
Guess what? Jason should have looked at him and said, we should have won the series. We gave it away.
Yeah.
That's what he should have said.
And because
I didn't play well enough to win this series.
And I put
we didn't play well enough to win this series. We gave it away. We should have beat
on Tatum than Rozier. The lights were way too bright for Rozier. And it is what it is. They're young, and I'm not mad at them.
They're young.
That's a part of learning how to win. That is what it is.
And that's sad.
And with that,
Bron knows how to win.
No
Thank you
doubt.
very much.
There's no doubt about it.
He knows how to make
there's no doubt about
a win happen.
And this is why.
But that's from his experience. That's from him losing all them finals.
No,
and that's from him. I was about to say that's from him playing with Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley.
Yeah, and they taught him.
That's from him from playing with winners.
Experience.
We've very rarely seen any people who just come in and know how to win.
Exactly.
Magic Johnson.
Nobody.
Magic. Kobe didn't know how to win.
Kobe didn't know how to win. He had all
you learn.
Shaquille O'Neal didn't know how to win. How about that?
They didn't know how to win.
You couldn't do more than what he could do.
They knew how to shoot. They knew how to score. They knew how to break people down.
You even saw it the other night in that game 5 that Golden State lost when that kid, I think it was McGraw, when he put up the jumper and Steph Curry was wide open at the top of the key and he kind of hesitated and put up the jumper and it was broke. And you could see that was his moment of trying to learn that the lights were too bright. And the rest of the 4 guys on Golden State couldn't wait to put that shot up that were on the floor. You know what I mean? And it just so happened that he ended up open. He takes a shot. He misses the shot.
It wasn't Pat
McCall. Who was that?
It was the light skinned kid who's brand new on the team this year.
Jordan Bell?
No. The point guard.
I don't remember his name. But you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
He shot the shot. It was at the end of the game. It was right before Draymond threw the ball away.
He got the
Not
name?
Swaggy.
No,
not Swaggy. Now, okay,
his name is on the tip of my
it'll
tongue.
come to you.
Yeah.
So then here's another one, and I want to wrap up that series and the series talk. We'll get at some predictions. But with that, you also had a great perspective on what has happened to the chemistry of the Golden State Warriors since Kevin LeBron, since Kevin Durant has shown up, which is your theory on Draymond Green's role.
What do you think? What do I think has happened to Draymond Green's role?
Yeah, because Draymond Green's numbers used to be gaudy and in very team friendly sorts of ways. And Clay, we had a great conversation about that. I want you to bring that to the light.
Right. Okay. So what I think has happened is Draymond Green has kind of gone off the deep end in his facilitating role. Right. Like he was kind of the do everything guy.
He was the super glue.
Super glue. I mean, he made the team go. He still does. His energy is the reason why they have energy because you see how up and down it seems like emotionally Steph is and Clay is and all that. Draymond is the consistent at the huddle, screaming on fools, making sure everybody's on point. Let's win this game. Get in your chest.
And now he's the guy that can't keep his eye on the ball to fumble the game away.
Right. And what I'm saying is, as much as he's good at everything, in this last series, he's reduced himself. Nobody did that to him but him.
No,
he's reduced himself to not even looking to score, which hurt them a lot because he's a good penetrator.
I agree.
He's a good facilitator.
He sure is. He's good at everything.
But when you've taken, like I said, when the Houston Rockets spread you out with 5 guys who can shoot, and now the Warriors have reduced themselves to 2 offensive liabilities, being Draymond and whoever, whether it's the young boy or if they throw David West or somebody out there, and they only have Steph, Clay, and KD out there, that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
You got 5 scores against 3 scores. So you put a lot on these other 3 guys, and now Draymond is not even in the picture. So he doesn't help you at all offensively.
I don't feel like there's enough ball out there because one of the
that's what it is?
Because one of the things that happened is because they spoke about it, even Steph had been backing off taking his shot to a certain degree, and they were trying to, and then Kevin Durant backed off of taking the shot. So everybody's backing off because they're trying to, it's not enough ball out there.
I think they were fine last year, and I don't think it has anything to do with not enough balls out there because I think they had more weapons last year offensively than they do this year. I believe that. And
Vixen wants to chime in about what's going down because on our next topic as well.
What upper?
Next victim, live in the OZone. You're on with our guest, Mr. Robbie Jones, talking about the debacle that took place with the Houston Rockets. And we've moved on. We're talking about the experience of what it takes now to win this championship if you're the massive underdog that LeBron James is, and also talking about how Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, to a certain degree, have altered their game to play with Kevin Durant, and it's resulting in some vulnerabilities and some exposure for the Golden State Warriors. What's your take on the series, upcoming series, and then we're going to move into boxing. What do you got?
Wow. I'm going to say LeBron James and the Cavs in 6. If it goes 7, the Warriors got it. Tonight's game is probably the biggest game
I thought the same way.
For the Cavs.
Much bigger for the Cavs than for the Warriors.
Out there, if they can sneak out tonight with the win, it builds the confidence
of the young guys,
remaining players of the young guys, and they're built for a long, stronger series. if it comes to the run and gun against the young, against the Warriors got that if it goes 7. But if they can get this win tonight to get the confidence and strong arm and bully these thin Warriors, it's a wrap.
Them thin Warriors come out and play. Them thin Warriors.
That's heck of fun.
They out there running thin mints. They on the Atkins diet. And so, you know what's funny? Because before you got on air, that's exactly what I just said. I said tonight's game is huge for the Cavs. Much bigger for the Cavs than it is for the Warriors. They need to set the tone. Because if they go out there and they get blown out tonight, they could get swept. It's going to be hard. It's hard to beat LeBron James 4 games in the series. But it's swept. You don't think so?
The NBA's
You think Adam Silver is going to push the button?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
The refs won't allow that. They suspended Draymond to stop him from getting swept that 1 year, and they ended up losing.
Draymond did that. That wasn't them.
No,
Draymond
that was
the one.
the league.
Right.
That was the
Draymond,
league.
that was Draymond. Draymond swinging on people's nuts.
No, he accidentally kicked his brother, and they suspended him on a momentum game. Stop
accidentally
No.
in every round.
come on,
That's
man.
like saying that's like saying that's like saying the Ambien caused Roseanne's racist tweet.
No, don't go there. No, it ain't the same thing.
True.
And he ain't had no kick this year, though. He ain't had not one kick this year. So that's all, Draymond.
He's off the Kickstarter campaign. He's on a GoFundMe.
But do you suspend him though?
Yes.
Do you suspend him?
That was like the third time he had kicked somebody in the nuts. He went too far. Can't keep kicking cats in the nuts. Come on, Rob. You know that.
He didn't kick him. He didn't kick him.
Wait, man, run the tape back. You playing right now.
Watch the replay. LeBron didn't even buckle. LeBron didn't even buckle.
He just got nuts of steel. That ain't got.
Pause.
That doesn't mean that it was illegal. That mean it wasn't illegal.
Get off LeBron's nuts.
The still.
Telling you. Yeah, man. He kicked him. Who did he kick? He kicked, I think, Westbrook the round before that.
Yeah,
or was it Steven Adams? He kicked it.
He kicked Steven Adams, I think, twice.
He kicked Steven Adams in two separate games.
You don't remember? The league came down like, okay, man, that's enough.
That's too far, man. These guys want to have kids.
We take it out on you in the summer. We fine you like we did Brady on the Deflate Gate. All that. Get him in the summertime after the
That's that
championship.
Bay Area homerism right there. That's what that is. That's Homer.
Oh,
now, okay, so now this we want to move, switching gears. Got to do it for the tipper on the line. Tell the people where they can find you online.
You can find me at Twitter at DoItFor4 THA Tipper. That is me. DoItFor4 TIPPER. Do it for the tipper. That is me.
Do it for the tipper. Now, I want to get everybody's take on this. Moving into the boxing ring, we've reached a stall on what would have been the fight of the year, in theory, which is the Canelo Alvarez Triple G unification bout. One of the mostly unification bout. Billy Joe Saunders still has one of the belts. And I wanted to get everybody's take on what's going on. So let's lay the groundwork real quick. Last year's fight in September ended in a very controversial split draw, which one of the cards was obviously rigged.
Super rigged.
Super rigged. Everybody in the world knows it. It gave boxing a black eye. Even Canelo fans knew that. And
that was the worst.
That was a bad card. Yeah,
time.
that was, come on, man. And then you move into, okay, the rematch is coming up. Cool. Everybody's getting hyped up. You know, all of the hype and the talk is going on.
Yep.
I had actually done a piece for HBO Boxing about the fight, and then they have some interesting backstories on both guys about their street fighting and all this other crazy stuff.
Wow.
Then you come to find Canelo is tested positive for a masking agent for a performance-enhancing drug that he tried to claim came from eating contaminated meat in Mexico, although his trainers, he had the mad cow, he had the mad lion, although his too many beefsteaks and not enough time to bust them all up with one clip of testosterone. Don't care. You forgot about Mad Lion.
He got him.
Oh, just listen to Mad Lion the other day. Got me weak. I was bumping Mad Lion the other day.
90s classic.
Gotta take it easy. What? Gotta take it easy. And so, too much Mad Lion was going down, and then no, I don't think anybody in the world believes that either. So, Gennady Golovkin moves on because he wants to stay sharp. He beat up a guy that hadn't fought in a few years down at the StubHub Center. He hurt him bad. He might have gave that young man brain damage, but kudos to him because he came out there and actually won that first round. Yeah. He beat Gennady up that first round, which is what resulted in his demise.
The wake-up call.
He tapped him up the first round.
He tapped him up that first round.
Yeah, that was bad.
So
which was impressive.
It was impressive.
He took 13 straight punches,
which may have resulted in CTE. And so then, now we're back at the negotiation table, and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy want the same terms that they had before.
No.
Gennady has instructed his promoters to be like, whoa. For one, I'm the champ.
I'm the champ.
For two, I agreed to 65-35 split, and I'm on the low side.
What?
Basically, I want to lay this out for you. Based on the fact that I just wanted a rematch. I just wanted to beat this dude up so bad and clearly that I wanted a rematch. The only reason that we didn't have that split and that fight is because your guy tested positive for the juice twice. Not once, but twice.
What?
So now if you guys want to step back in the ring with the champ who has done the highest cable numbers on television this year for a boxing match, which was that fight when he fought with a replacement killer.
At the StubHub.
He kept it west. He said, if you want to step in with the Don, I need 50-50.
Got to be.
I don't even feel like it's got to be 50-50. I feel like Canelo, why does Canelo deserve to get 50?
Here we go.
I agree with that.
And this is what
I completely agree with that. Give that kid 60-40, 75.
Dang! You want to fight for free?
Yeah, but pretty much. He's juiced. He cost you big money already, and you want him to take all the risk on fighting you.
60-40.
Yeah, and you want him to take all the risk, and then what do you say? Oh yeah, we'll do 50-50. No, you're not hooking me up.
And this is what Gennady has done that's great, in my opinion, is that he said exactly what T just said. He said, no, actually, you're not hooking me up. I just did 2 million views fighting nobody.
I don't need you.
It's about 4 or 5 guys out there who also have a following. They may not have the whole country. And also,
Canelo's lost.
Tom Loeffler, the Triple G from Triple G Promotions, came out and said something very strong. He said, actually, Canelo needs Gennady to clear his name.
He does. He needs a clean fight under his belt
and a clean dub.
Exactly.
And we don't know what we're going to get.
Because he lost that fight.
He lost that fight.
He lost the first fight.
And
he needs it to clear his name. To be like, no, I'm the real one. It wasn't a draw, and I really could win this fight.
But now we
60-40.
Yeah, but it's a question mark. It's a question mark if he was even clean the last fight.
Exactly.
Well, and you remember what Senator Harry Reid out in Nevada actually came out and said after Canelo got caught for clenbuterol, is he said that Floyd Mayweather had expressed to him that before their fight, Floyd Mayweather had expressed to him several times that he was convinced that he was dirty back then.
Wow.
This is a racing all the way up in the ranks.
Wow.
And Harry Reid used to be a boxer himself, so he was taking it very seriously.
And Floyd is super clean.
And he said, I don't know about that. But he said that there's too
don't
much.
Do me like that.
He said that there's too much money involved for me to not do it. Floyd Mayweather has had some A samples that tested dirty that they decided not to test some B samples. And Floyd Mayweather is the #1 contributor to the USADA. He was to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency.
Yes, sir.
The #1 contributor was Mr. Floyd Mayweather. When it is well known that the World Anti-Doping Agency, VADA, is the one that is the most clean, is the one that got Canelo. The one that just caught Canelo. The one that Canelo was hesitant to sign up for is and
all of a sudden,
you think Floyd slipped a couple
all of a sudden Robbie wins.
He might have slipped a couple piss tests. Shoulder rolled them. He shoulder rolled a couple piss tests. That was it. Slide.
That's what you're saying? Is that really what you're saying?
I mean, the proof is in the go.
I'm not
going
to speak off.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't
money
matter.
Team, man. Money team on mine all day.
There you go.
Okay?
But he's retired either way it goes. So if he did juice, he got away with it. It is what it is. Canelo is juicing now.
Current.
And as far as we know, up until him signing up, he was reluctant to sign up for year-round testing even after he got suspended.
So basically he said, I'm going to do it.
So as far as we know, he could have been in Mexico juicing all the way until he signed the paper.
Right. That's true.
So around the board, you guys think that not only should he not get 50-50, not only should he not get Canelo not get 50-50, you guys think that he should be down 60-40 on this.
I'm going lower than 60-40. I'm 75-25.
70. 75. I would negotiate 75-25. Then I drop it down. To a minimum of 60-40. And the reason for that is the dude tested dirty twice.
Yeah.
You heard the sport.
With that taking place, it's like we know if they fight and when they fight, it's going to be a cause in there for a rematch. Either way. So then possibly you can still, if you don't make the 75-25 or the 70-30, then you still drop it for the rematch fight in the rematch clause to go 60-40 Canelo, because he's owed that money. He's owed that money.
Yeah, he did.
Well, see, but that money is lost. And to me, he's not necessarily owed that money, because this is the price, especially in the United States, especially in the capitalistic capital of the world. This is the price for doing the right thing. And ultimately, we have to recognize that. Gennady Golovkin did the right thing, because he could have said nothing and nobody would have penalized Canelo. Let's be honest about this. They would have just swept it under the rug. Yep. The commission wouldn't have said much. But Gennady Golovkin himself came out and said, yeah, he cheats. I know he cheats. They showed me pictures. And then they start putting the pictures up and you're like, ooh, those are needle marks in his ab. You haven't seen the pictures?
No.
Can you pull the pictures, Steve, so you can see it? And yeah. Well, it's not like a secret. He was like, the pictures are like pretty clear cut. What? Yeah, at the weigh-in and stuff like that. And he was like, he said it's bad. He goes, I'm for clean boxing. He goes, I'm for clean sport. He goes, you're cheating the sport, you're cheating yourself, you're cheating me, and it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Nobody ever says that, because we had the champ Deontay Wilder on, and Deontay Wilder was like, man, I'll fight these dudes even if they juicing. I don't care. That was his whole thing with Luis Ortiz when Luis Ortiz tested dirty. He was like, I'll still fight him.
Oh, he's a savage.
He was like, I'm not going to juice, because I could kill somebody.
That would be.
And that's murder.
Wow. He's a sav.
On the air. He told us right on the air.
I don't want to fight nobody who just...
I really don't.
They might hit me with that ooh-wee.
They might. That's their goal. And see, and then the other thing, besides hitting you with the ooh-wee, they'll take your ooh-wee as if it wasn't ooh-wee.
Exactly.
Dr. Bombay.
Right.
He don't stop and he don't play.
Every time we try to
the other homie from the OZone
running away.
He said you can play any sport, but you can't play boxing.
Sure can.
That's right.
Sure can. So wow, that's interesting. So the overall 60, feeling 40. Is 60-40 for Gennady.
For sure.
And now they're talking about each guy is looking to go their own way. I actually don't think that this works out well for Canelo. I think it works out much better for Gennady.
Absolutely.
Because regardless of whatever the next step is, whatever happens, they're talking about what WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman came out and said was, if Gennady doesn't fight Canelo next, his mandatory is Charlo. And so it's the future. Yeah, the future of fighting. Too. Potentially, I think Charlo's going to get knocked out inside of 5 rounds.
He's going to get hurt.
I think he's going to get. Well, see, and that's the thing. We haven't seen him get hurt.
But it's a good fight, though.
I agree. I mean, I want to see it. I would pay per view to see it. I would pay for it.
Because here's the deal, right? If he fights Canelo again and wins, he won the first one.
We already knew he won the first one.
He has nothing to prove.
Not to anybody who watched the fight.
This is what I'm saying. He's taking all the risk.
Anybody who knows boxing.
He's taking all the risk.
Not to the lay person.
Anybody
who knows boxing.
They know
everybody knows that he won that fight. So he has nothing left to prove to real boxing fans.
Yes. So the only thing that he's proven to himself is that he's going to knock him out.
Right. So
he wants to knock him out.
Exactly.
And he wants to pick up his crazy cheese.
Exactly.
That Little Caesars is around the corner from Canelo's house.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And he's picking up crazy bread, fitting 40, 50, or 30, 40 million.
If he knocks Canelo out, his cheese is off the rack.
If he knocks Canelo out, his next fight, he's probably looking at
Floyd numbers.
He's looking at crazy numbers because he's doing really good numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're talking about a rematch with Danny Jacobs, or if you're talking about, one of these Charlo guys.
Right. But if he doesn't knock Canelo out.
Say he loses the fight.
No. I don't even want to entertain that. Say he doesn't even fight Canelo, right?
Right.
He's still gonna get chipped out if
he gotta get chipped out.
If he knocks out Charlo and continues the knockout streak,
or if he just keeps it, if it's a great fight and he does a trilogy with Charlo.
Yeah, if he continues in the way he's going
and the way that he fights,
he's still gonna end up getting that.
People like to see that big drama show, as he calls it. People want to see that.
Exactly, and nobody wants to see Canelo halfway juicing, maybe not juicing.
Well, this is the whole thing. You don't know. Well, this is the craziest part about the juice in general. You don't know which guy you're going to get once a guy gets off the juice.
Exactly.
We don't know. This is my problem. Everybody, it's amazing to me just running around town how many people come up to me and say, man, you hate Alex Rodriguez. And the thing is I don't hate Alex Rodriguez. I strongly dislike Alex Rodriguez's his post-playing career. I hated him as a player because he was never clutch. I had a problem with that. But after you juiced to the tune of $550 million, the most money anybody has ever made off my favorite game ever created. Now you're forcing society to accept you and your juicing and embrace you as though nothing ever went wrong. When now that all the cards are on the table, if all the cards are on the table, I can't say for sure that Alex Rodriguez wasn't juicing in Miami when he was 17 years old to get to the show. It used to be a Bonds kind of thing where it's like, whoa, let's not go crazy. Barry Bonds was all world before he got on the juice. The juice just made him superhuman.
It made his head huge.
And actually swelled up his dome.
His skull.
It's duggery. And so then, with this situation, we don't even know how long Canelo's been juicing.
Do we have pictures?
I'm trying to find it.
Oh, you still can't find them? Wow. Okay. Let me see if
because
I can
it was on the gram.
It's not under Gennadi's page?
Let me look. I wasn't looking on
Anywho, so we have that. We also have Vargas is saying he expects a Broner rematch next. Which I don't even say the B word on the air anymore.
Have we already spoken on this? We were speaking.
We spoke to me and you. We spoke on via text.
We had a mean little text.
Oh yeah, about the buffoonery. We don't need to keep going into it.
We were on a
group call. We're on a group call,
conference call, and we don't even.
No, we don't. We get no burn, no pub for that nonsense. But an interesting thing did happen, which was Vasily Lomachenko went and got shoulder surgery.
Right.
So for which he said he hurt his shoulder in the second round. He just didn't want to make any excuses. Anything like that.
He's down for a while, which the game needs him. The game kind of needs him.
He's down for a minute.
He's vicious. He's the real deal, guys.
And who's the real deal that's waiting?
You don't think Lomachenko's the real deal? Oh, have you had this conversation with T before?
I'm on the same page as him. I don't say that he's not the real deal.
I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter.
I just don't think I can't say after 12 fights that he's the greatest of all time. Bob Arum is talking reckless.
No.
Bob Arum is talking reckless, saying that he has a skill set he's never seen, including Muhammad Ali and blah blah blah. People always embellish too much when it comes to boxing. I know. I don't know why. I don't even know why that's necessary.
That's what I'm out.
Why can't he just be a great fighter?
He's a great fighter.
You know what I mean? And from what I've seen,
he's a great fighter.
I know he's a good fighter right now. He's got to prove himself to be a great fighter. He hasn't proven. You can't prove yourself to be a great fighter in 13 fights.
Well, here it is. He's fought great in those 13 fights.
12. He got beat up in one of them. He fought 12 of those 13 fights. He did fight great in.
Great.
And
like convincingly, like wow, great.
Yeah,
but there's also a quality of opponent.
Well, it's also size of opponent more so than quality. Because these were good quality opponents, but he was always the bigger man.
I'll concede that.
And I saw a fight that was much closer than what everybody, including Vegas, anticipated in that fight that he just won a couple weeks ago.
So he got off the mat for him.
Which he got off the mat, which is extremely impressive. Let's not front on that at all. Also, we got a big fight coming up next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday, folks. We got Terrence Crawford fighting Jeff Horn. I can't say Loma. I don't think Loma's better than Terrence Crawford.
I'd love to see that.
And Jeff Horn is not good.
And Jeff Horn, he's
some. Oh boy, he's some trash.
He got popped.
He's some trash.
He has pop, but I mean,
he got hands.
They
put
were
on
about
him.
Manny put hands on him.
He made him look bad.
He put hands on him.
Right. And this was another situation where I hate to bring up not the race card, but the discrimination card. This is another situation where if you notice in popular society, ever since Manny Pacquiao rededicated his life to Christianity, he's been persona non grata when it comes to the decisions, to popularity, to the whole song and dance. Max Kellerman comes out of his neck talking completely reckless about him all the time now.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is he saying about him?
I mean, he's since
I know they've been talking about he don't have his killer instinct.
Everybody talking about that. Oh, what happened to your pop? Just like how he talked reckless the other night to who did he talk crazy to? Gennady. Yeah. He talked crazy to Gennady.
He talked crazy to
and
Gennady.
They booed Max Kellerman. Yes. I was at the fight. They booed him because he was like
out of pocket.
He was like, hey, this was a great display tonight. Where was all that power in your last two fights against Danny Jacobs and Canelo?
He dropped Danny Jacobs.
He dropped Danny, and he beat the crap out of Canelo.
He beat the mess out of Canelo.
And Canelo was on that stuff, which probably held him up.
Right.
Which is probably why he needed so much time to recover.
Danny Jacobs weighed so much when he came in.
He might as well have been a heavyweight.
But he put Danny Jacobs down.
Yes.
Put him down. He had to put him down. And so, but I am interested in this fight because I would like to see Bud Crawford not get off to a slow start. I would like to see Bud Crawford start at the top of his potential. You know what I mean?
He's a really good fighter.
Because he has a tendency to give you a lightweight Badu Jack, not in the sense of he doesn't he doesn't let it go all the way to the point
go
where
too far.
Yeah, where you don't fight the first 6 rounds and then surprise when you win the next 6 and get a draw, which is Badu Jack's favorite move. He doesn't do that. But Badu Jack actually just put out some great information that I can't front on with Badu Jack. They said Badu Jack is taking the purse winnings of his fighting career and starting worldwide orphanages. Badu Jack's out there trying to do what's right to humanity.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I guess I could support
him.
Shout
out to Badu Jack.
Yeah, I guess I could support him for a little bit longer if he would just fight the first 6 rounds of the fight
Well, it doesn't seem like it's a problem with his character. It just seems like he's a problem with his game plan, his approach to the fight.
His approach, yeah.
You want to give away 6 or 7 rounds.
Why?
We're going 12.
We only going 12, bro. I don't understand.
Give away the money, not the fight.
Yeah, what you
Exactly.
doing? Give away the money. Not the kids need you.
Don't give away the fight.
Don't give away the fight.
And then act like you got ripped off every time. Like, man, I can't believe they did this to me.
Well, I do.
Come on. And then Earl Spence is waiting in the wings. He said it's strap season. He said whoever wins this Garcia Porter fight has to fight me. I'm not playing with y'all.
That's gonna be a good fight.
Now you gonna tell me you think that Lomachenko's better than Earl Spence?
Nope.
Come on, Rob.
I mean,
They're saying he's number 1 pound for pound in the world. I can't roll.
his footwork is crazy.
I agree.
He has great
I agree.
footwork.
He's got tremendous footwork.
His footwork.
He'd be a nightmare on a basketball court. He got great footwork.
His footwork is off the chain, like a different level. Like here's 90% of the fighters, and then Lomachenko.
I agree.
Footwork.
He's got great footwork. Crazy
and that
footwork.
wins him fights.
I agree, but I don't think it's going to win him fights as he continues. If he fights, if he stays at 135, that ain't going to win him fights.
You don't think so?
I think Mikey Garcia got work for that man. Major work for him. Yeah.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I do.
Mikey's nice, but I don't know if he's quick enough to fool with that. It's Lomachenko's footwork.
See, and that's the thing. It's not about quick. That's what Jorge Linares showed you. Jorge Linares wasn't quick.
Linares imposed himself on
He
him.
imposed himself, but he didn't commit to it because they kept trying to talk about low blows, which weren't low blows as well, which bothered me. So we got that. We got, and we have some interesting news out of Mexico, is that Carlos Cuadras, you remember Carlos Cuadras, who shouldn't fight anymore as per the fight that we saw him lose in February. Well, you come to find he had an addiction problem.
Really?
Yeah, he had an addiction problem, he apparently would go back to Mexico, and I think we lost next victim, but he would go out to Mexico and disappear at times after fights, and his promoters and his manager spoke about it, and they were like, "Hey, man, we got to get you together," and he went into a rehab. Now he's saying he's kicked those demons and he's never going to return to them. Put out a picture. He looks kind of chubby on the photo, which is good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. He's getting himself together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I hope he doesn't fight anymore because
he looked terrible.
Man,
He took a beating.
Did
Oh
he?
my goodness.
I didn't see that fight.
oh my goodness, he looked bad.
Who beat him up?
Man, what was that cat's name?
Must not have been nobody great.
No, he was,
No,
he was good.
he was good.
But the
He was
problem is
good.
that you just watch Quadras just take so much punishment, and you know it's one of those fights where you're watching, you're like, oh my goodness, okay, that's enough.
Somebody stop this. Right. Yeah.
Somebody stop this.
Yeah.
This is too far.
And these guys aren't going to go down just because they're getting beat. You know,
Right.
they get up. They're warriors.
Right. They got that heart.
And that's what he does have. And they're saying that they're also reporting that Chocolatito's trying to make a comeback, but Chocolatito's having visa problems down in Nicaragua.
What?
You don't have visa problems when you're winning, though.
Like, ain't that
At all.
Right?
You don't have none of that.
But I want a visa. What's that? I don't even need one.
What is a visa? I just showed up.
I just
Soaring visa.
Soaring visa.
Soaring visa. I gave him that work.
He gave my
Took his
visa
visa.
problem. He took his visa.
Took your visa.
Man, that's the worst.
Man,
The
I'm
freaking
talking
Thai.
about
Did you hear about the
putting
Thai
him to
homie? The Thai homie's going through emotional problems. His manager came out and said, "Hey, he's not ready. He's not fit to fight right now. We'll let you know when he gets back." The Thai homie. He caught his girl running around with another boxer or something like that. And his eggs are scrambled right now. So we're sending shouts, love out to the Thai homie.
Love out to Soaring Visa.
Yeah, because Soar is real.
Oh, he's
Soar,
not. He got
you don't
hands.
want problems.
Oh,
he got hands. And he got the strongest chin ever.
He can take a freaking
Man, he can
hunt.
take a punch.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and somebody I follow on Instagram that I really like is Caliafy, and he's a little guy. We got a lot of little guy boxing nowadays, but he's one of Eddie Hearn's fighters, and he made his U.S. debut in Fresno, and he beat a guy named David Carmona who had missed weight. As a boxer, just missing weight seems like a real
Lack of discipline?
a complete and total lack of discipline.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to make weight.
As any athlete that's not doing their job, like you watch on the Cavaliers with dudes missing open jumpers. Come on, man. You can't do that. I mean, you got to make weight.
So I'm trying to find this picture of Canelo's ab because you can see the needle mark in the same way that you could see John Jones's. Remember when John Jones had the needle mark when John Jones was juicing?
No.
Wow, Rob, man,
You didn't know about John Jones?
John Jones is my guy.
Are you kidding?
You knew John Jones was juicing.
I mean, he's been
He had some problems. He's been having some personal
he's
problems.
been having some issues.
Yeah, he got caught juicing a couple times, and then
And he had the needle.
they both had the same mark in the same spot in that
they
lower
had the needle
abdomen
mark.
spot.
That mark of the beast.
They had the beast.
You can see that one on John Jones.
Wait, and that's from the juice?
Yeah, because you inject it in your gut.
Are you sure that's what that is?
No, I mean I wasn't at the house,
Oh.
but he did. But he did test dirty.
Because some cats just have that kind of.
I don't think he got stomach acne. I don't think that's what it was.
striations. You know,
I don't think it was striation nation.
Well, you're trying to help him out.
I know
John
he got love
guy.
for John
Come
Jones.
on, man.
So
We both Joneses now.
Exactly. That's your cousin.
Right.
That's your country cousin out there. And then now let's talk about football real quick. Let's talk about this deposition that leaked from Jerry Jones.
Is that real?
I mean, as far as I understand,
seen it on IG, but then I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it.
I looked it up.
It's
It
real.
was on Bleacher Report.
It's all over the place.
Is it now?
It's him and Steve Ross down with the Miami that owns the Dolphins, who came out and said, listen, I was actually 100% on the side of our players until Trump introduced a different narrative. And actually, we just kind of kowtowed to his thing.
They leaked this part?
They leaked the deposition. They had a deposition.
But I'm saying you read the actual.
Let's look up the footage. Jamel Hill did a piece about it on
Because I saw it. Shout out to Matt Barnes. I saw it on his page. He got it from Sean King. And I saw it and I was like, sometimes I don't know if that's real. And then I looked it up
one is real.
and I didn't see any other stories about it.
There's plenty of stories about it.
It must have just got hyped today.
Oh, no, it just got hyped yesterday, actually.
Okay.
Yesterday was when it dropped. And this is part of the issue, is that they're basically coming out to say now, they're coming out and saying that, you know what, the president had a role in this, you know?
And that violates some kind of law or something. That's what they were like insinuating. Him interjecting his beliefs and opinions on a private business or entity is like illegal.
It should be. That's what the emoluments clause and all that is about.
Right.
Because then what he came out and said was, you know, hey man, this is a real win for me.
Yes.
So let's keep this alive, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I remember that was a quote.
So at theundefeated.com, it says, and I quote, that
I can't wait. I was looking for that stuff last night.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, I can't find the needle marks.
They scrubbed the internet of the marks.
Take me a little while to dig him up.
They scrubbed the marks.
No, they ain't scrubbing. They're on there.
Yeah.
Believe it. And you know what? Did you hashtag Canelo on Instagram? Because that's where they will be. So here you go. And this is from the Wall Street Journal. Jones said Trump told him, this is a very winning, strong issue for me. Tell everybody, you can't win this one. This one lifts me. Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross testified that New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft had also discussed the anthem with Trump directly.
Wow.
Ross testified that Trump's comments changed the dialogue. And Houston Texans owner Bob McNair acknowledged that the protests were financially hurting teams. Let's see.
I believe that's illegal.
And then Jerry Jones, when being outed, Jerry Jones tried to deflect and say, hey, let's not give him that much credit, all right? But I do recognize that he's the president of these here in the United States.
Right. Wow.
Just shows you how weak the owners are and how it's a good old boy network.
That's all it is.
We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that.
And there's a serious problem, because the problem is going to now be, in my opinion, the problem is now going to be they've drawn an even further line in the sand with this anthem rule, because ultimately, I think I read at the end of the season last season, there was only 7 people still kneeling. It might have died out in the offseason if they would have just hired Colin Kaepernick as a backup or something like that.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, what they decided to do was to further the thing by making this divide here. And now you've put the players in a position, just like Trump did when he called them sons of bitches,
Yep.
where they either have to stand up or get fully punked.
Yep.
And, you know, the rumor is that they're trying to figure out how they're going to go about their new version of the protest.
And the crazy part is
Which
they gave
hurts
them
everybody.
some time. They gave them some time to unify.
They sure did. That's a good point.
You gave them some lead time.
But the
So
problem,
you gonna have something.
yeah, you're going to have something, but the problem is that the league is not unified in general. You know, they have one of the worst unions in sports.
Right.
Preach, brother.
Yeah. First of all, you can't have these guys keep on going out there playing and killing themselves and not having guaranteed contracts.
Right.
And then these owners running around like this a plantation where they can do whatever they want to or say whatever they want to. I mean, these guys are citizens of the United States. You don't get to just decide that they can't have an opinion.
Right.
You know, and it's not right. It's not a negative opinion. They're saying, and when the narrative got changed and made it seem like that they were against the military or, the flag or whatever, that's not the problem. That's what they weren't kneeling for that,
It's at times, I don't know if you guys feel like that, but it seems like the NFL is like modern day sharecropping.
I do feel like that sometimes, because you look at these guys and the owners sit up in their box and they look at that guy, hey man, humanize these guys.
Exactly.
There's no humanization
so
of it.
expendable.
Yeah.
And when you watch those shows like Hard Knocks that kind of give you the insight onto these players' lives and you see how desperate these guys really are behind closed doors and how cutthroat it is.
This is one of the reasons
those jobs are secured.
I love being on Ballers. Just because we get to explore this stuff, especially with my character.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Because it's not all of this, what everybody thinks it is.
Exactly.
And the reason why they're expendable is because they don't have guaranteed contracts. You guarantee that money and then they'll put a little bit more.
Exactly. You got to invest in your investment.
Exactly. I have to make sure that you're
focus on your focus.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but you can't sit around and just like, oh, well, you hurt. Okay, well, I got somebody else. Bring Robbie in now.
Right. You can't just discard something that you've invested in.
Come on, man.
It's going to hurt you more.
Exactly.
So why not?
And that's exactly why they want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
They're keeping it like that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say something crazy, which is I actually believe that this is the kind of scenario that could put the NFL out of business.
I know you said that before.
Because,
That's big.
Because with the way that they're doing this now, they've created a divide.
Big time.
How do you fix this? No one can win here. The owners who consider themselves owners, they really are, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
not like
They embody that.
they 100%. So there's that. They don't want to give in. They don't want to give an inch because they know if they do give in here, you know what's going to happen? Now all of a sudden people are going to want guaranteed contracts. People are going to want this and that.
Give
So what's the
take a
alternative?
mile. That's what they think.
And then if you don't give in, what if the players eventually just form another league or something to that effect? There's enough people now with money that are not of the full-blown racist ilk where they could start a league. People just want to see football. It doesn't have to be in the NFL. And I don't even think that it's far-fetched for Bozo to be behind actually that because he wanted to be in the
He had his own league before.
he had his own league that failed before. So I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that may be what he's trying to go for now.
Throwing a monkey wrench in there.
It might be monkeyed up.
That was a bad pun.
Might be.
I'm sorry. If it introduced that.
I'm just saying. He might be wrenched out. Let's call that.
Shout out to Roseanne and them.
Shout out to Roseanne.
Yeah, because it's just bad business, man. It really bothers me. Just like in boxing as well, they have no union, so these guys get the crap beat out of them. In football, you blow your knee out on Sunday, and
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
That money that I got for that Sunday, forget it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And you got to fend for yourself in every way possible.
Exactly.
We don't got you financially. We don't
Medically.
got you medically. Sorry,
So you
brother.
go over there and figure it out.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. Yeah, I found those pictures. You can see him and John
Wow.
Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Jones has just been introduced to the evidence of needle marks on two of
Exhibit
two of his favorite
Wow.
fighters. Abs. I mean, would both happen to have the same needle mark in the same spot.
It does look.
Looks a little suspect.
Looks a little sus.
Looks a little suspect. You make the call. So yeah. So again, I don't.
The divide is real.
The divide is real. It's just like the rest of the country. The divide is real. And how do we fix it? Who knows?
I haven't turned my television to an NFL game since Kaepernick has been blackballed.
Since it became
I've been on the boycott tip. I've been on the boycott tip. My TV will not give them ratings.
Yeah, but
if I'm at a sports bar or somebody else got the game on, okay, I can control their TV. But my TV is not being tuned into any NFL games. Period.
Okay, but
until they do something about the cap situation.
But look, being real about it, how many people of color can actually afford to go to any of these games? This is the problem.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't know about that because it's about TV.
I don't know.
It is about TV, but also it's about filling the stands. They don't want to show games with empty seats. They don't want to have arenas with empty seats. It's about filling the stadiums up and filling the stands up. Jerry Jones makes X amount of dollars when the Dallas Cowboys play at home from his concessions, parking, and everything else. They'll take a loss if we could affect their bottom line at the stadium as well as watching it on television.
Obviously, they were.
Yeah, I think the bottom line has been affected. And I don't know what that has to do with how many people can actually go to the games. There's plenty of people of color who actually go to the games.
Yeah. I don't believe that. Because if you look at people of color have a hard time, except for the Raider Nation. Other than that, you go to all these other stadiums and stuff, they're not filled with people of color.
You think they're not filled with it, but the people of color make 20% of the population. So nowhere is filled with it. It's not filled with it at baseball games. It's not filled with it at basketball games.
Baseball games are expensive. Basketball games are through the roof. I'm saying.
What are you saying, bro? You say you went to the left. Where are we going?
Right.
I'm saying that the way that you affect them would be that if you can affect them at the actual location, the stadium, because if you fill the stands with people that can actually join in with the protest. So what if the fans are kneeling while the players are kneeling? Well, you know what I'm saying? With people of color. But people of color can't afford to go to the stadiums. You don't understand that?
No, I don't understand what you're
going. Damn it, I'm out here.
I can tell. Sounds like Mitt Romney showed up, boy. Yeah, no, I don't understand what you're saying. So people who are having financial issues can't go to the stadium. Okay.
I think
don't know what that does.
I think their imagery on TV is what they're scared of.
I think so too.
Most people
so too.
But bar none, most people watch sports on television.
Yeah, that's just all.
There's only 15,000 seats.
There's only 100,000 seats, but there's 20 million people watching at home.
The game.
That's
they don't want to show them some imagery that could possibly ruffle their feathers.
That's all it is to it. I feel the same way, and that ties in with whatever biased ideology they may have.
Absolutely.
But that's what it comes down to.
They don't want to ruffle feathers,
and especially since most of the country are the flyover states who watch the NFL, because there's only so many people like in the Raider Nation and in the coastal cities.
Right.
So these are the people that are getting riled up, and these are the people that are also the people that voted for 45, who are also the people who then in turn got bamboozled into thinking that the protest was about the flag or being against the military.
Very misinformed people.
That's what I think. So that's my take on it. We got action out in Paris. Paris right now is a little bit of upset city, ladies and gentlemen. Last year's darling on the women's side of the tennis tournament at the French Open lost in the first round, Jelena Ostapenko. Also losing in the first round of the women's singles was Venus Williams. I anticipate her to have a good run at Wimbledon, though. I think that with her age and I just think that the clay isn't necessarily her best surface for right now where she is in her career. On the men's side, all eyes are on Rafael Nadal. He's won the French Open 83,000 times, and he's going for one more.
I thought you were giving a real figure there. 83 times? Did you say 1,000? You threw me off.
Yeah. In news and notes, we got a real serious thing going down. We're talking a little puck out in the NHL may change the way that sports are in general. The Las Vegas Knights are at 1-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they are the most successful expansion team in all of sports history.
Wow.
This is their first season. They started out as 500-1 underdogs, even though there's only 30-something teams in the league,
right,
to win the Stanley Cup Finals.
And they're in it.
They won the first game. They just barely lost the second game. They're playing the Washington Capitals, and this has changed a lot. And now this is another thing that's putting sports on the map in Vegas that actually works as a nice pioneer trailblazer for the Raiders going to Vegas.
Right.
Because now they're going to have now they got a couple sports teams that are serious out there.
Fan base.
Yeah, they got a fan base. It's real.
Vegas and the Raiders don't go well together.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's a good idea.
I didn't think Vegas and ice in general.
This is my point. This is why I bring it up. And they're talking about how this is changing the face of sports and making all owners and potential sports ownership investors rethink what works where.
Yeah.
Ice in the desert.
Who would think?
Exactly.
I would have been like, hockey, never.
And their stadium is popping. It's not like it's,
people are there.
What?
Like, cracking games.
Everybody loves a winner.
Imagine though, Vegas knows how to put on the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You go catch a game, and then you catch a Cirque du Soleil. Mm-hmm. Then you go to the room, you might catch gonorrhea.
That's up to you.
The choice is yours. Vegas is full of options, man.
They got it all for you.
They got it all for you.
Have it all for
It's up to you.
And sometimes what happens in Vegas doesn't stay there.
Sometimes it does.
It travels.
Like the Knights and the Caps. So, And then last but not least, just want to give a quick shout out to Real Madrid for winning the Champions League. That was a big game on Saturday. They had a couple interesting. We shout out all champions. And they had some interesting unsung heroes. It wasn't all the big names that got the job done. And I thought that was pretty interesting because this may be, how sports works in cycles and routines. So maybe we see that unsung hero piece starting tonight, the NBA Finals.
Could happen.
Could happen.
They might keep it real.
Madrid. I see what you did there. I like that. So, you guys got anything else you want to cover? Is there anything else that we...
We're not fooling with baseball today? Or what are we doing?
Oh, we can fool with a little game so fine. It's played on diamonds. I saw something the other day that was going to make you go crazy.
Which was?
Somebody at ESPN put up an article. I was going to send it to you, and I said, let me make this dude go crazy on air. Put up an article that said, yes, Mookie Betts leads Mike Trout in every statistical way.
But Mike Trout is still the best player who ever lived.
But Mike Trout is still on a historic pace, and Mookie Betts is not.
Are you kidding?
And it was all about war. Good dog.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. And
this virtual stat that they made up called war.
A win over replacement.
And I've been screaming about Mookie Betts is better than Mike Trout. Everybody needs to get over themselves. Mookie Betts can five to a player is Mookie Betts. Mike Trout, I'll give him 4. Mike Trout is a great player, but Mike Trout is not the greatest.
Mike Trout has all 5?
No, I don't think his arm.
His arm ain't up to code. Huh?
Mookie Betts doesn't strike out. First of all, if we want to go by home runs, okay, Mike Trout is tied for the league. But J.D. Martinez, honestly, there's a lot of ball players that you can take over Mike Trout. I'm sorry, it just bothers me.
He got fired up.
I tried to tell you. That's why I waited to do it.
It just drives me crazy with this whole war thing. Wins over replace. Mike Trout, a couple of years ago, won the MVP with his team in last place or second to last place. Mookie Betts they had identical stats. Mookie Betts went to the playoffs, and Mookie Betts loses the MVP. How does that work? Where does the war work? How does the war work? Obviously, it doesn't mean anything if the guy is losing and still you take him out of the lineup and they're still in last place.
Right.
Come on, dude. Be for real. This is a virtual made-up stat.
Fired up.
And ready to go.
Fired up.
Mookie Betts. I mean, let's shut it down.
No, keep going. Yeah,
I'm about to blow a gasket.
I can see that.
Up in here. Up in there. Y'all gonna make me go all out.
Hey, they making you go all out.
But come on.
Yeah, they let his dogs out. It's serious
So
business.
tell me this. Riddle me this, Batman. If Mookie Betts is leading him in all these categories and all the stats, why is it that Mike Trout is better than him right now?
They're saying it's because of war. They're saying it's because Mookie Betts has actually played less games than Mike Trout, so his sample size is not consistent for the entirety of this season. They're talking about potential stats.
What is your opinion on it?
You know what? Mookie Betts is a monster, is what I think. And I think that Mike Trout is the beneficiary. I think Mike Trout is a monster. And I think that all in all, Mike Trout is the beneficiary of the good old boy system. In the sense that when he's however good he is, it will be amplified. And with Mookie Betts, no matter how good he is, it is still to be measured up. There was a period where they had crowned Mike Trout the greatest center fielder in the game and arguably the greatest player in the game that year that Bryce Harper put up some of the dumbest numbers I've ever seen. Well, I think Bryce Harper hit 330, 50 bombs and like 130 ribeyes, something like that. And they maintained that Mike Trout was the best player in baseball when I actually felt like he wasn't even the best center fielder in the game. Wow. Because at that time, Andrew McCutchen was a better center fielder than he was. Then Andrew McCutchen, something happened. I think he might have went to Vegas and things didn't go the right way or something because his game went left from that point.
Hilarious.
But I think Mike Trout is a great player, and he's also a really nice guy. I met him a couple of times.
He is a nice guy, and
he's a great guy, and it's going to be interesting to see because Mike Trout needs to get to the playoffs.
He's never been to the playoffs, and they consider him the best player of all time.
I mean, you're going too far. Nobody says he's the best player of all time.
They do say that he's the best player of all time. This is what this.
I mean, this article actually compared him to Babe Ruth.
This is what I'm saying. So if you're going to start a team, you're going to tell me they give you an option. You're going to pick Mike Trout over Babe Ruth? Are you kidding? Over Ricky Henderson, over Willie Mays, over Mickey Mantle, over Lou Gehrig, over Ty Cobb, the redneck. Come on, man. And you're saying that I'll take him. Come on.
Over Pedro.
Over King Griffey Jr. I mean, we can just go all. Come on, dude.
Terry's fired up.
This dude is not
ready to go.
I'm trying to tell you.
I said he's fired up. And ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah, this is just not acceptable behavior by the baseball world and these analytics. The analytics are killing the game because, for one thing, when you talk about positioning and all this kind of stuff, back in the day, they didn't have charts and iPads and the dugouts and everything else, so they'll do a defensive shift so that Mike Trout is in the right spot at the right time when I throw this exact pitch so that he doesn't even have to really run that much.
You understand what he's saying?
Yeah.
So basically, if you're if you were Mickey Mantle, if you were Mickey Mantle, and
Willie Mays
and somebody, you just had to base your positioning on what you know about the guy, what you guess about the guy,
play him straight up,
and your superior athleticism.
Sure.
Now we know that Robbie hits the ball in the left center field gap. So I'm going to position Terry in the left center field gap, and I'm going to have Ernie pitch you the ball so that you hit it in the left center field gap.
Right.
Which is where the game is now, okay? But you can't then in turn act as though that doesn't factor into the greatness of these other guys.
Right.
Because these other guys didn't have that. They just went to go get it.
Right.
They literally went to go get it.
That's why that Willie Mays. Yeah, it
Yes.
does. This is statistically, this is why baseball, this is what the scandal was about with baseball, with juicing and everything. Because statistically, baseball stats are more important than any other sports because of the sacred nature of the stats. The numbers, it's a numbers game.
Right.
And guys, I mean, case in point, I talked about it a little while back. This kid on the Red Sox that plays with Mookie Betts, his name is Andrew Benintendi. He was hitting like 220, 230. And I said, man, this kid is about to go on a tear. And he has been hitting the cover off the baseball ever since. And the thing is that at the end of the day, as a Major League Baseball player, even as a Sunday League Baseball player, you're going to do your numbers.
Give the opportunities.
If your batting average, that's why it's called your average, is 280. If you're hitting 190, you are about to get hot, hot, hot. If you're hitting 420, you are about to go ice cold.
Right. So you know what?
Because this is how baseball goes.
294.
Hey, when I looked it up, he was batting 239. I was like, ooh, he's about to get hot. And this is in late April, I would say. Late April, early May. And he had a monster May.
And you can really kind of set your clock to that.
Yes. And the thing about Mike Trout is great, but then also we need to measure this at the end of his career because everybody's just one injury away or one or two bad seasons away from your stats literally pummeling. They'll go down like overnight. If you could be a 300 average lifetime hitter and have a 2 bad seasons where you bat 260, 270, and that average dives. It dives. So you can't sit around and say that this guy's the greatest guy.
Right. It doesn't. See, that's deceptive. It dives if you don't have a large sample size. If you're an average 300 hitter over 15 years and you have a couple bad seasons, guess what? You're still going to be an average 300 hitter. That's how it works. And that's what the beauty of the numbers is. It's not going to dive because this is what happens to everybody when they get old. Nobody knows when to quit. Right. So everybody's numbers go down somewhat.
The longest Ken Griffey Jr. was like an average 307, 309 hitter or something like that. He had like the last 3 years in Cincinnati. He got hurt.
And then he started playing in Chicago. Then he started playing in Seattle.
What did he end up with? Like 289 to 2 something like that.
It messed with his career average.
Yeah,
messed with your career average. But then that takes away. So then if Babe Ruth or Ty Cobb, I think Ty Cobb's lifetime average is something crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, something crazy like 330 or 340 or something.
That was like 360. Something
maybe.
Crazy. Yeah.
So we're going to say that Mike Trout is like that?
I mean, as you can see, he's fired up about it. Everybody knows.
Ready to go.
If you want to talk to the icons, hit them on Twitter at EYECONZ to talk Mike Trout.
I've been arguing with people for
I'm going to send you that.
Terry's got a main argument over there.
He's got a serious argument. And thanks to the shout out to the Dodgers because Clayton Kershaw's coming back. I'm very happy about that.
In a few minutes.
And I think it's time for the Dodgers to turn the corner. Matt Kemp is hot. Justin Turner's back in the lineup, which makes everybody better.
So they have an offense now because Clayton Kershaw is 1-4 with a 2.86 ERA.
Which means he's still dominating.
Which means he's dominating. And you guys are scoring runs. He's not even giving up 3 runs a game, and you guys are not.
You can't keep him in the game.
You can't keep him in the game.
It's like he was when he first came up.
Wow.
That's how it used to be. Yeah. And seemed like they finally got to Ohtani, but he's still. I mean, you could argue that it's just because he doesn't play. I want to know
what happened.
I'm just saying I thought he's the one that they batted around. They beat up. Oh, he shut him down.
He shut them down.
Yesterday.
I mean, literally, he gave one Ernie, but they had a rain delay. He had to come out.
And
they gutted out the
that's what it was. They gutted out the bullpen. I thought they gutted him out.
No. Ohtani shut them down.
So when we're talking about Mike Trout, when we talk about Mike Trout, and we also talking about Mookie Betts,
Mike Trout,
the best player in the world is that dear Japanese fella named Shohei Ohtani.
The Japanese fella.
Japanese fella named Shohei. It's showtime, fellas.
Showtime.
Really?
Shohei Ohtani.
Let's go.
I actually think he's the best player in the world. They lied to him. They bamboozled him.
In the world?
Yes, he was supposed to be
the scouts went over there and they scouted him for probably about a 2-year period. They had a two-way phenom. You know, in lower levels, you can hit and pitch. When you get to the major league, nobody does that anymore.
Really?
This kid was in Japan playing both sides of the ball, throwing 100 miles an hour fastball, a mean splitter, and a tight slider, as well as hitting the ball 400 feet. He was the prized possession of the offseason. He came over and he finally agreed to play with the Angels because the Angels told him that he was going to get to play both sides of the ball. All the rest of the team told him, we only want you to pitch. And then, or we only want you to hit. He's like, actually, I do both. And now the Angels have been playing games, and they don't let him do both. And
he might hit 3 games a week.
3 games a week
and
out
then
of 6 or 7. Pitches like once every 7 days.
Yeah, once if he's lucky. Yesterday was the first time he pitched in a week and a half,
and he kills.
Kills, even though he's rusty. And what's crazy about it is that in spring training he was terrible. So everybody was like, "See, it was a fluke." Blah blah blah. They turned the lights on. Shohei Ohtani started balling.
Wow,
problems. He's got problems for the opposition.
And they still won't let him go both ways.
He had a perfect game almost through 8 the other day.
Yeah,
I think he ended up giving up 1 hit in that game.
Something at the beginning of the season. But what they're saying is that basically they're saving his life by not letting him play.
Exactly.
Oh, they're trying to stretch him out.
No, they're trying to preserve his career. There's so-called preserving his career by not letting him play, which defeats the purpose of bringing him over here and letting him play.
Right.
I think it was Mike Trout that did it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
This guy hates Mike Trout.
I don't know because I just hate this whole thing, this aura about Mike Trout being the best ever. I guess these guys just started watching baseball 5 years ago or something. It's not true. He's not the greatest of all time. He's a great player, but he's not the greatest of all time.
I see your energy.
I haven't seen anybody say he's the greatest of all time, but that's what he's.
It's all over. This is what I sent you the article. This is what sent me off the ledge. Just last week, they said Mike Trout is the best player of all time.
It. Your family needs you.
Come down. I love you, brother.
I love your energy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a spirited edition of the OZone. Robbie Jones, I wanted to say thank you for inviting me to your wedding. It's been great to witness your growth as a man, to see the new seed come into your life.
Wow.
And all of the abundance and the blessings from the Lord on high that's coming your way and has already come your way. Congratulations, my brother. Thank you for always supporting. You were our first guest. Hopefully you will not be our last, but you are welcome anytime on the OZone.
I appreciate that, man.
No doubt about it.
One of my best friends in the world right here, man.
That's awesome.
That's one of my best friends in the world. Man.
Worldwide, too.
Real talk.
We've been, I think, on 3 continents together.
Around the planet.
Yeah, we've been all over the world.
Major love is in full effect. Get that salute.
All day.
All day.
Yeah, I played with Robbie Jones. Me and Robbie played, actually, we had a great time. We played hoops against the troops on all of the American military bases throughout the country of Italy. I think we played on 7 different bases, 5 or 7 different bases.
Went to Sicily,
yeah. In the whole country. It's fantastic. Robbie was the MVP of the tour.
Oh, cut it out.
My goodness. He gave them work.
What did he average? Double?
No, just a lot of, I handled the rebounds. That dude gave you good 35, 40 a night. I mean, a lot of work. And these are military guys. These guys are in great shape. It's not.
How many assists?
Enough. I mean, we had a weak squad, I have to say. So the assists were kind of, he might have had about 7 and 5 were to me.
Right.
And I was, and that's when I could move a little bit, but he was our number 1 option.
Oh, man.
But shout out to Jesse Metcalf, the homie Josh Henderson, Hindu out there,
and Big Hill Harper,
and Big Hill Harper brother, who was
gimpy during the trip.
I tore up my Achilles, brother, but I had to come out just pass out some.
Where Hill came out?
That's how we all got to be real tight. That's where we all got to be tight.
Really?
On tour buses in Italy.
In Italy, bro.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 hour bus ride.
5, 6, 7 hour bus rides. Just running through. Yeah. Great time. Great time. That's how we got to be friends with brother. But he just tore his Achilles, so he couldn't play. But he came on the tour and spoke. He's such a positive guy. And, passed out his books, signed autographs, showed love to the armed services.
Big love.
Got that Achilles.
Big love out to the USO and all the fellas and ladies and gentlemen out there who welcomed us with open arms. I still got some of those coins that they gave
I
us.
have it.
Yeah, me too. Have all those coins. All right, folks, we're going to leave you with a Chinese proverb, which is when the winds of change blow, some people build walls and other people build windmills. We're all in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long edition of the OZone, but we had a good time. We hope you enjoyed it as well. This is the OZone.
OZone.